Have you ever discovered yourself standing in your kitchen staring at your plate and thinking, am I truly consuming the correct foods for my age? You may still relish the same vegetables you have always enjoyed, but that somehow your legs feel more fragile, your balance is not what it once was, and energy thus appears to vanish more quickly than previously. You're not alone. Aging transforms how our bodies respond to certain foods, even the ones we have relied upon for decades. But here is the wonderful truth: while we cannot reverse the clock, we definitely can select what nourishes us best today. That is precisely what this video is about today. I want to thoughtfully guide you through 6 common vegetables. 3 of them can silently help you remain stronger, sharper, and more stable as the years pass by. But the other 3, they may be quietly working against your health, especially your leg strength, your balance, and even your independence. We are going to examine how each one impacts your body, how to prepare them in the most healthful ways, and how just a minor change in your meals can create ripples into better days ahead. So prepare yourself a warm beverage, get comfortable, and let us discuss like two friends who care deeply about living well even in our golden years. Let us start with one of the most undervalued protectors of aging bodies, a small green tree that delivers a powerful impact for your legs, your heart, and your brain. Now let us discuss broccoli. Yes, that small green vegetable that some people used to push to the edge of their plate when they were children. But if you are over 60, broccoli is no longer just a vegetable, it is one of the most powerful things you can place on your plate to stay strong, steady, and sharp. You see, as we age, our bodies begin to lose their natural defense mechanisms. Inflammation enters quietly, bones become more delicate, muscles do not recover the way they used to, and the frightening part, sometimes we do not notice it until it has already taken something from us, like the ability to walk confidently or get up without assistance. That is where broccoli enters. It is like nature's guardian, especially for folks like us who want to age with grace and independence. What makes it so special is something called sulforaphane. Now, I will not throw any scientific terminology at you, but just know this: sulforaphane is like a tiny warrior inside broccoli that helps calm inflammation, clear out toxins, and protect your blood vessels, joints, and even your brain. Let me tell you a small story. One of my neighbors, Joan, she is 70, started adding just a cup of lightly steamed broccoli to her lunch every day. Nothing drastic, but after a few months she told me her knees did not ache as much going up the stairs, and her doctor said her circulation had improved. She did not take a fancy supplement, she just made a small, consistent change, and that is what I love most about broccoli. It is simple but powerful. It is also filled with vitamin K and calcium, two nutrients that help keep bones strong, and at the 60, that is a big deal. A tiny fracture can take weeks or even months to heal. But when your bones are well nourished, your body can handle more of life as little bumps and bruises. Plus, broccoli protects your arteries from hardening, something that happens naturally with age, but can lead to serious problems like high blood pressure and heart trouble. What is more, broccoli helps your legs. Literally, sulforaphane improves blood flow to your lower limbs. That means less tingling in your toes, fewer cramps at night, and more steady steps during the day. And for anyone managing diabetes or poor circulation, that is a quiet gift you do not want to overlook. But here is the trick: how you cook it matters. Boiling it too much, that strips away the goodness. The best way is to lightly steam it just until it is bright green and a little firm. That way, you keep all the nutrients and your body gets all the benefits. I sometimes toss mine with a little olive oil and garlic, and let me tell you, is both delicious and healing. And do not worry, you do not have to eat a mountain of it, just a small cup a day, enough to make a difference over time. It is not about being perfect, it is about being consistent. So the next time you see broccoli at the store or on your plate, I want you to see more than just a vegetable. I want you to see a little green ally standing tall, ready to protect your bones, your legs, and your future. And once you have got that gentle green protector on your side, there is another leaf, a darker one, that works quietly behind the scenes to power your brain, your heart, and your strength. Let us head there next. Now, let us discuss something that might already be in your refrigerator: spinach. You have probably tossed it in a salad now and then, or maybe added it to a sandwich or smoothie. But what you might not realize is that this simple leafy green holds an incredible secret. It is one of the most powerful foods you can eat to protect your brain, your circulation, and even the muscles in your legs. It is easy to overlook spinach. It does not have the crunch of carrots or the flashiness of red peppers. But let me tell you, for folks over 60, spinach is like quiet medicine that works from the inside out, helping your body in ways you can actually feel over time. Let us start with your circulation. You might notice your feet get colder than they used to, or that, when you walk, your legs tire more quickly. That is not just aging, that is often poor blood flow, and spinach is one of the few vegetables rich in natural nitrates. And no, not the bad kind from processed meats. These nitrates help widen your blood vessels, improve elasticity, and allow your blood to flow more easily to your muscles and brain. A friend of mine, Robert, he is 69, used to feel a little dizzy every time he got up to fast. He thought it was just part of getting older, but when he started adding spinach to his breakfast smoothies a few times a week, he noticed those dizzy spells became less frequent. His doctor later told him his blood pressure had evened out and his legs felt less heavy when walking, all from spinach. And let us not forget what it does for your mind. Spinach is loaded with lutein and folate, nutrients your brain absolutely loves. They help preserve memory, keep your thoughts clear, and protect your processing speed. I always say a sharp mind is just as important as strong legs. After all, it is our thoughts, our stories, and our memories that make us who we are. And spinach helps keep those treasures safe even more quietly. Spinach protects your vision. Lutein and zeaxanthin, funny names I know, go straight to your eyes and guard the macula, the part that helps you see detail. That means fewer struggles with blurry reading, better depth perception, and less risk of age-related macular degeneration. Being able to recognize your grandchildren's faces clearly, that is a gift worth protecting. It not, of course, how you eat spinach makes a difference. Eating it raw is good, but for some of us, that can be tough on digestion. Lightly sauteing it with a bit of olive oil or blending it into a smoothie with banana or berries makes it easier for your body to absorb the goodness without causing bloating or discomfort. Just a handful a day, that is all you need. Toss it into a soup, mix it into scrambled eggs, or blend it into a morning shake. Whatever works for you. What matters is that you give your body this quiet daily support. Spinach is not loud, it does not make a big fuss, but behind the scenes, it is helping your blood flow better, your brain stay sharper, and your body feel more alive. And when you pair spinach with broccoli, you are already giving yourself a powerful daily dose of nourishment. But we are not done yet. There is another humble veggie one you have probably eaten since childhood that brings a surprising gift for your legs, your nerves, and your balance. Let us take a walk down memory lane to talk about this bright, crunchy root and the secret it has been carrying all along. Let us take a moment now to appreciate something a little sweet, a little crunchy, and incredibly powerful: the humble carrot. You have probably been eating carrots your whole life, in soups, in stews, in lunch boxes. But after 60, carrots become more than just a familiar taste. They become a quiet protector of your eyes, your nerves, and even your balance. Here is something most people do not know: the strength in your legs is not just about muscle. It is also about how well your nerves send signals from your brain down to your feet. And carrots, yes, carrots, help keep that connection strong. They are rich in antioxidants, especially one called beta-carotene, which your body turns into vitamin A, and vitamin A is like nourishment for your nervous system and your vision. I remember chatting with my Aunt Linda, who is 74, and lives alone. She told me that one of the scariest things she ever experienced was nearly falling while stepping off a curb. It was not that her legs were weak, it was that she did not see the edge clearly, and her body did not react in time. That moment changed her. Now she eats carrots almost daily, grated into salads, blended into soups, even just raw as a snack. She says it makes her feel more awake and her steps more in control. That is the kind of power we are talking about. Carrots help sharpen vision, yes, but also preserve what I like to call movement confidence. You know that feeling when you can trust your body to respond quickly, when your balance feels steady. That is partly neurological, and carrots nourish that system from the inside out. And there is another layer: carrots are naturally high in fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar. Now you might wonder, what does blood sugar have to do with my legs? The answer is a lot. when blood sugar swings to high or too low affects circulation and nerve sensitivity, especially in your lower limbs. Stable blood sugar means stronger legs, healthier feet, and fewer problems with numbness or burning sensations that so many older adults experience. And here is something I think you will appreciate. Carrots are easy. You do not have to cook them fancy. In fact, raw or lightly steamed is best. That is how you preserve all their goodness. A few sticks dipped in hummus, a handful grated into your morning oats, even a blended smoothie with carrot, apple, and ginger. It is refreshing and nourishing at the same time. Some people tell me, but I already eat carrots. Does it really make a difference? And I say this: if you eat them with intention, consistently, and as part of a balanced diet, yes, the difference builds over time. Carrots do not just help you see better, they help you move better, they help you feel steadier, they help you avoid that one fall that could change everything. So now, with broccoli, spinach, and carrots on your side, you have got a trio of quiet natural allies working together to keep your body stronger, your balance steadier, and your days brighter. But just as some vegetables protect us, there are others that quietly chip away at our strength. They look harmless, some are even colorful and fresh, but for people over 60, they can increase inflammation, weaken joints, and put your legs at risk. Without warning, let us take a closer look at the vegetables. You may want to think twice about starting with one that many folks enjoy: grilled or baked, without ever realizing the quiet damage it may be doing. Now let us talk about something a little surprising: a vegetable that looks beautiful on the outside, deep purple, glossy, and often considered heart healthy. I am talking about eggplant. Maybe you enjoy it grilled with olive oil, baked in a casserole, or added to stews. It is flavorful, versatile, and for some it may be quietly harmful. This may sound unexpected, but hear me out, because especially after 60, your body becomes more sensitive. The things that never used to bother you might now cause stiffness, discomfort, or even impact your ability to move as freely as before. That is what eggplant can do for some people. And it all comes down to a compound it contains called solanine. Now, solanine is a natural chemical that acts like a defense system for certain vegetables, eggplants, tomatoes, and a few others in small amounts. It is not dangerous for most people, but for older adults, especially those dealing with joint issues, arthritis, or muscle sensitivity, solanine can trigger low inflammation in the body, and it does not shout, it whispers. You do not always feel it right away, but slowly over weeks or months, that inflammation can start to wear down the joints and tissues that help you walk, bend, and stand with confidence. I knew a gentleman named Carl, 68, active, loved gardening, but he started noticing that his knees ached more after a long day, and his ankles felt stiffer in the mornings. He did not think much of it until his daughter, a nutritionist, asked about his meals. Turned out he was eating eggplant almost every day, thinking it was healthy. When he cut back, the change was not instant, but over a few weeks, he said, the morning stiffness improved and walking felt easier. That is the sneaky thing about foods like eggplant. They do not scream danger, but that for the aging body, their effects can slowly chip away at comfort and mobility. The inflammation they spark might not send you to the doctor right away, but it can make you hesitate when stepping off a curb or cause just enough knee pain to make you skip your evening walk. And unfortunately, how you cook eggplant does not make much of a difference, whether it is roasted, grilled, or simmered in sauce. The solanine remains. That does not mean one bite will harm you. But if you are eating it regularly, and especially if you have been dealing with unexplained joint pain or leg weakness, it is worth experimenting. Try cutting it out for a few weeks. Notice how your body responds. Sometimes the absence of pain speaks louder than anything else. This is not about fear, it is about awareness. You know your body better than anyone. And if there is even a chance that eggplant is causing you more harm, then good would it not be wise to listen. There are so many other vegetables out there, ones that soothe, strengthen, and support your joints instead of irritating them. You do not have to settle for discomfort. You can choose comfort. You can choose steadiness, and eggplant is not the only vegetable to be cautious about. In fact, the next one is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. Bright green, cheerful, and often praised for being fresh and healthy, but for seniors, It may be quietly feeding the very inflammation that steals strength from your legs and clouds your mind. Let us take a closer look at green bell peppers and the hidden story they have been keeping. At first glance, green bell peppers seem like the picture of health, crisp, colorful, and refreshing. They brighten up salads, add crunch to sandwiches, and sit proudly in veggie trays at family gatherings. But for those of us over 60, what is beneath that bright skin be more concerning than it looks, because while they might seem innocent, green bell peppers can be a hidden trigger for inflammation that slowly chips away at your strength, balance, and even your peace of mind. Here is why green bell peppers belong to a group of vegetables called nightshades, and like eggplant, they contain compounds that can irritate sensitive digestive systems and joints. One of the main culprits, lectins. These are proteins that in certain bodies can bind to the lining of the gut and interfere with how nutrients are absorbed. That may not sound like a big deal, but over time it can mean your body is not getting the full benefit from the food you are eating, and that creates a ripple effect. I once spoke with a woman named Judith. She is 70 and always prided herself on eating healthy. But she started noticing tingling in her feet and ankles and a strange sense of unsteadiness when walking, like her legs just did not feel as reliable. She was not in pain exactly, but she could tell something was off. When she reviewed her diet, one thing stood out. She was eating green peppers almost daily, thinking they were a healthy go-to. With her doctor's guidance, she swapped them for red and yellow peppers instead, which are ripened and have lower lectin content. A month later, she felt more stable on her feet and more energetic overall. That is the thing, the effects are not always dramatic. Sometimes they show up as small changes: stiffness in the ankles, slight numbness in the toes, or a feeling of wobbliness when you get up from a chair, easy to brush off. But these little signals matter. They are your body's quiet way of asking for a gentler approach. Green bell peppers also offer fewer antioxidants than their red, orange, or yellow siblings. That means you get less of the good stuff, the compounds that fight aging, while still carrying the risk of inflammation. It is like taking the downside without enough of the upside. You might be thinking, can I not just cook them to make them safer? And yes, cooking does reduce some of the lectins, but it does not remove the risk entirely, especially if you are someone already dealing with arthritis, poor digestion, or circulation problems. At this stage in life, we need food that supports us, not food that leaves us guessing. Here is a simple swap: instead of green peppers, go for the red or yellow varieties. They are not just sweeter, they are gentler on your system and more supportive of heart, nerve, and joint health. Roast them, stuff them, slice them raw. You will still enjoy the crunch and flavor, but without the extra baggage that green peppers may be carrying, because every little choice you make adds up. And choosing to listen to your body, to notice what feels good and what does not, is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself, especially now. But there is still one more vegetable we need to talk about. It is perhaps the most trusted comfort food in America. It reminds many of us of family dinners, Sunday lunches, and holiday meals. But for aging bodies, it can do far more harm than good, spiking blood sugar, stiffening arteries, and weakening the very legs that carry us through life. Now let us turn to something that might surprise you more than anything else we have talked about today: white potatoes. They are warm, familiar, and tied to so many comforting memories. Mashed at Thanksgiving, roasted for Sunday dinner, crisped into golden fries that bring back the joy of family meals. White potatoes are woven into the fabric of our lives. But here is the truth that most of us never hear: as we get older, the very comfort of white potatoes can come with hidden costs, especially to our legs, our heart, and our long-term strength. Let me explain. White potatoes are extremely high in simple carbohydrates, which means that when you eat them, your blood sugar spikes fast. At first, that might not seem like a problem. In fact, it might make you feel a little energetic or full, but inside your body, those rapid blood sugar surges can quietly cause inflammation, especially in the small, delicate blood vessels that feed your legs and feet. For seniors, those blood vessels are already more fragile. Over time, high blood sugar can lead to numbness, slower healing, poor circulation, and eventually weakness in the legs. And sometimes this does not feel dramatic. It might just feel like your legs tire out faster, your feet are colder, or you are more prone to cramps than before. I remember talking to Gerald, 73, who told me he had been eating baked potatoes nearly every night, with dinner nothing fancy, thus the way he had always done, but he started noticing that his legs would cramp more at night, and walking upstairs made him feel unsteady. When he cut back on white potatoes and added more sweet potatoes and leafy greens, he said it felt like a fog lifted from his legs, like they remembered how to move again. The trouble with white potatoes does not stop at blood sugar. They also contribute to something called arteriosclerosis, a stiffening of the arteries, and when arteries lose their flexibility, blood has a harder time reaching your lower body. That means slow response times in your feet, a greater risk of falling, and longer recoveries for minor injuries, even worse. Many of our favorite potato dishes are loaded with extra fat, cream, butter, and salt, so not only are you getting a sugar spike, but you are also putting stress on your heart, your kidneys, and your blood pressure. A plate of mashed potatoes might taste like home, but it may also be quietly undoing the good choices you are trying so hard to make in other areas of your life. And when you compare white potatoes to other root vegetables like carrots or sweet potatoes, they come up short, especially in the antioxidant department. Those pale white insides do not offer the same protection against oxidative stress, which is one of the biggest drivers of aging in our cells. Now, does this mean you can never have white potatoes again? Of course not. But it does mean we need to treat them with care. Have them less often, maybe swap them for roasted sweet potatoes or even mashed cauliflower with herbs and olive oil. The goal is not to take away joy, it is to make room for choices that give your body more of what it needs and less of what wears it down, because the way you feel tomorrow, the strength in your legs, the steadiness in your steps, the confidence in your movement begins with what you eat today. And when we start making these choices not out of fear, but out of love for ourselves and the lives we still want to live, something powerful happens. We begin to feel hope again. We begin to feel strong again. So now, with all of this in your heart, the foods to welcome and the ones to approach with care, let us bring everything together in a warm reflection. So here we are, my friend, walking together through 6 vegetables that may be sitting right in your kitchen right now. Some like broccoli, spinach, and carrots quietly protect you every single day, supporting your balance, nourishing your legs, guarding your vision, and helping you stay independent just a little longer. Others like eggplant, green bell peppers, and white potatoes may look harmless, but for those of us over 60, they can slowly chip away at the very strength we have spent a lifetime building. And that is the thing, is it not? Life after 60 is not about chasing perfection. It is about becoming aware, tuning in, noticing how foods make you feel, not just in your stomach, but in your knees, your energy, your mood, your sleep. It is about learning to listen to your body as kindly and patiently as you would listen to someone you love. You do not need to change everything overnight. Just swap one thing today. Maybe steam some broccoli with lunch. Try sweet potatoes instead of mashed white ones at dinner. Maybe skip the green bell pepper in your salad and try something more gentle like cucumber or roasted red pepper. One small shift, then another and another. Because that is how strength returns, not through dramatic overhauls, but through quiet consistency. The vegetables on your plate are not just ingredients, they are choices, they are care, they are small loving decisions that ripple out into your joints, your balance, your blood, and your brain, and over time those ripples become real change. If this message has touched something in you, if you are feeling hopeful or just a little more curious about what is possible, I would love to hear from you. Share one thing you are going to try this week, maybe a food to add or one you will ease away from. Let us support each other, let us grow together. You are not alone in this journey. And if this video brought you value, please take a moment to click like. It helps more seniors find helpful content like this. Leave a comment with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one, and do not forget to subscribe to Balance Health. You never miss a tip, a story, or a gentle reminder that your health, your strength, and your joy are still in your hands. One meal, one choice, one step at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. Here is to walking taller, seeing clearer, and living every day with more energy, more peace, and more purpose. You deserve nothing less.